what an individual friend has told them or what their own personal experience is.
Do you think, after all the research that you've done and that you're continuing to do, that the governments of the world are truly suppressing the information about UFOs and ETs?
Breaking up a little bit with you. I don't know if it's my phone or not. Could you repeat the question?
Sure. I was asking you if, after all the years that you've been doing investigations into UFOs and the related fields, if you believe that the governments of the world are suppressing the information that they have on UFOs and alien beings.
The evidence is just incredible for anybody that really wants to, get on the internet and search the data that's now available, on crash retrievals, on abductions, on contactee cases. There's just a massive amount of information available to ordinary people, like I said, but the problem is people being able to sort that out. So there's no doubt in my mind that the information is being suppressed, and for a number of reasons. The first reason is that people were, the military and the political leaders and scientists were very afraid when spaceships started falling out of the sky, and their natural reaction after World War II was to classify everything and suppress the information until they figured out what was really going on. But unfortunately, the problem went from fear to greed, and a lot of corporations realized that they could make a whole lot of money off of reverse engineering extraterrestrial resources, for the marketplace. And so the cover-up switch, main motivator for the cover-up switch from fear to greed, and that's a real problem for our society and very damaging for us both spiritually, mentally, and emotionally, and even our environment.
Besides the information on the internet, Ed, what evidence do you have to substantiate the fact that you believe UFOs are here? Have you touched any evidence? Have you seen the evidence firsthand, or are you going by secondhand information?
I have talked to so many people over the last 40 years. I have seen some possible evidence. There was a guy in Atlanta that had claimed that had a small piece of a spacecraft that looked like some kind of a plastic composite, but it wasn't extremely hard or whatever. It looked like maybe it was some kind of an insulation or whatever involved in a case. But mostly I feel very comfortable about the government documents that can be accessed at majestic.com. I think it's called majesticdocuments.com. And that's a good place for people to start on the evidence of the government's own documents. Now, they're releasing documents all over the world on a regular basis. Sometimes they publicize it, and sometimes, like in Canada, they just flipping them out. But I've also had a lot of personal experiences with people that have been involved in the military, involved in these classified programs, and also local contactees that have, given me a lot of information. So it's kind of the cumulative effect of all the information together allows one to put together a picture, that hopefully is 80% correct as to what's going on, and use that to fly sort of by the seat of my pants.
Now, you say you've spoken to members of the military who have worked on some of these classified projects. Now, what does this tell you about their credibility if they're willing to give you information that is classified?
Well, they can get into a lot of trouble, but people talk, and some people feel so strongly about this that they talk to me, and my blog has been very helpful, and it not only is a way of distributing information and concepts to the younger generation that they can build on, but it also allows me to build up a powerful intelligence gathering network, and people contacting me. But one example was Sam Stanland, who was a local guy, and I became good friends with an abductee daughter of his. I interviewed him, and unfortunately, he made a mistake of he was supposed to get back to the Pentagon, and the Pentagon was supposed to get back with him, and they didn't. And when the Pentagon got back to him, they came down on him really hard. His trailer was burglarized, and he was given a whole new set of documents as to what military documents and everything. And not only was that bad, but they came down on a friend of his that hadn't even talked to me, and afterwards both of them went out and got drunk. And that's the kind of situation that you run up against is that people, when they leak information, they got to be very careful about leaking it to me, because it can get them in a whole lot of trouble. And sometimes people are aware of that, and sometimes people like Sam Stanland thought that a lot of this information had been declassified, but it hadn't. And he told me about information that I had never heard before, that Jimmy Doolittle, he had seen pictures of aliens that Jimmy Doolittle had taken, and I'd never heard that in the UFO community before. And I called up John Lear and asked him about that, and John said that's interesting, because when John Lear first got interested in UFOs, his mother got concerned, and she called Jimmy Doolittle a family friend, and he says, yes, it's real, but I can't talk about it. And so it's a very serious thing, and I protect a lot of my sources, very carefully.
Let me ask you this question, and I'll give you over the news break to come up with an answer. Why would members of the military come to you and give you classified information instead of going to mainstream media where they could actually become whistleblowers? That makes no sense to me.
Okay, do you want me to continue here? Or
no, we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back. Exo Nation, my guest this hour is Ed Komarek. His website is www.exopolitics.blogspot.com. That's exopolitics.blogspot.com. 1-800-610-7035, toll free throughout the U.S., Canada, and now worldwide at 1-800-610-7035, toll free. My email address is xzone@xzoneradiotv.com. On MSN Messenger, xzoneradiotv@hotmail.com, and our website, www.xzoneradiotv.com. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue from our studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, on the all-new X-Zone Broadcast Network and Talkstar Radio Network.
Is all around me, and so the feeling grows. It's written on the wind, it's everywhere I go.
Considering calling a psychic to read your situation? Then consider David Champion, a psychic medium for more than 20 years with thousands of readings under his belt. David Champion will make you feel comfortable. He has proven to be honest and accurate. He's a straight shooter. There's no guesswork. What he sees is what you get. While he is a medium, most of the calls focus on relationships, not only love, but work, school, neighbors, and more. Need help with finding a job and preparing for the interview? Are you dealing with people who are obstacles in your path? For more information, go to davidchampion.com, $1.50 per minute paid by credit card with a minimum of 30 minutes. For your reading with David Champion, call 1-877-702-8598. That's 1-877-702-8598. Now you can dial in to listen to the X-Zone Radio Show from anywhere in the world with Rob McConnell 24/7, 365 by dialing 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080. If you have a mobile phone or landline, the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is now at your beck and call at 213-401-0080. That's 213-401-0080, 24/7, 365.
My name is Michael Telstar, Canada's leading mentalist from Toronto, Ontario.
Hi, my name is Splenda, and you're listening to my dad, Rob McConnell, on the X-Zone.
This is Psychic Dorothy from St. Catharines, and you're listening to Rob McConnell.
Hello, my name is Holly Reeves, an astrologer from Astro For You, and you're listening to Canada's #1 paranormal radio show, The X Zone, with Rob McConnell.
Welcome to The X Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
Of your face, I can remember smelling your hair. I'll meet you anywhere, somewhere that no one can retrace, somewhere where no one will know our faces. She has two arms to hold me, four legs to wrap around me. She's not your typical girlfriend. She's my alien.
Welcome back, everyone. Ed Komarek is our special guest. Exopolitics.blogspot.com. That's exopolitics.blogspot.com. Ed, before we went to the commercial break, I asked you a question, and I didn't ask it to be sarcastic. I didn't ask it to be mean. I just can't understand why these whistleblowers are willing to talk to a researcher and an internet writer like yourself, instead of going directly to mainstream media, where if their evidence was substantiated and checked out and verified, would hit the worldwide listener and viewer audience?
Well, what you have to understand is that most real whistleblowers, there's some that have gone public and, they take the heat. Stephen Greer has, brought out quite a few of those, that have offered to testify in Congress and, at the National Press Club. And, but there's also, you got to understand that being that this is highly classified and people are risking, not only themselves, but their pensions and their livelihood, and their clearances. They don't want to go out into the public domain or talk to the mainstream press because this could all come down on them. So that's another problem that we have is a lot of times we can't give these people's names because that would expose them to severe repercussions. There's legally there's a document out on the internet that says there's a $10,000 fine. It's JNAP 146. There's a $10,000 fine and a year in jail for revealing information on UFOs. And so you have that problem there, and then contactees, real contactees, usually avoid publicity like the plague because, like I've written about, the military is not very happy with any ET collaborators, and they can also get into a lot of trouble with our government and whatever. So you got to understand that we're up against a massive cover-up and enterprise that's basically based on extreme profitability of reverse engineering extraterrestrial technology. So it's all a matter of money. Like so many other things, that is the reason this cover-up is in place. And in fact, corporations apparently control the access to a lot of, or the gatekeepers to this classified information. There's information on some of my blogs where Admiral Wilson, actually inquired into some of these special access programs, and he was met by corporate lawyers that told him that he could go no further. So, I mean, if you study up on this, you're up against corporations that control governments, and they have a monopoly on this technology, and just like any other monopoly, they don't want